New York. The next time the Cleveland Cavaliers play the New York Knicks is February 23, the same day as the NBA's trade deadline. And what if Carmelo Anthony is in Cavs uniform and Kevin Love is in a Knicks uniform? To make a move like that would require salary cap creativity, and while such a deal is unlikely, it's not implausible or as far-fetched as one might think. And the topic isn't going to disappear until either Anthony is dealt or the trade deadline passes. Anthony, booed again at home in Madison Square Garden in Saturday's loss to the Cavs, is growing frustrated with his situation in New York, which is one way he could be goaded into waiving his no-trade clause. Though, out of spite, stubbornness and a desire to remain in New York, he could stick it out while sticking it to Knicks President Phil Jackson. More Knicks. Carmelo Anthony not ruling out anything on trade. Hernan Gomez a bright spot for Jackson, Knicks. But Anthony acknowledged another loss, another less than supportive home crowd and constant trade questions were testing my will. As he considers his future, the prospect of winning an NBA championship, he could look at his best option. It's no secret Anthony, LeBron James, Chris Paul and Dwyane Wade have talked about playing together. These are conversations that we've had years before any of this ever came up, Anthony said. Where is his best chance to win a title and add to his 3 Olympic gold medals? Not with the Los Angeles Clippers or Chicago Bulls right now. It's with the Cavaliers and James, who believes in his friend's ability to contribute to a championship team. He had 25 in one quarter this year. Very recently, James said of Anthony's 34-point game, 25 in the second quarter, against the Washington Wizards on January 19. I just want the best for him, and I want him to be happy playing this game that he loves, and if it's here, in New York, then great. If it's not, then great as well. That's all that matters. Anthony could tell Knicks management he will waive the trade clause for the Cavs only. At that point, it's the Cavaliers who would have to consider the merits of adding 32-year-old Anthony and trading 28-year-old Love, who is averaging 19.9 points, 11.1 rebounds and shooting 42.5% from the field. That wouldn't be an easy decision. He's here for a reason, James said after Cleveland's 111-104 victory against New York on Saturday, in which Love had 23 points and 16 rebounds. We know why he's here. We know what he's capable of. Does Anthony make the Cavaliers a better team? Does it make the Cavs more equipped to compete and possibly beat the Golden State Warriors in another finals series between the two teams? Does it make sense for the Cavaliers? If James wants a playmaker, Anthony falls into that category. He is a scorer, draws double teams and, for all this talk about Anthony being a ball stopper, consider his performances with the U.S. basketball team. When Anthony is matched with great players, something he hasn't had the fortune of in the NBA, he's a better, more efficient player. Don't discount his ability to fit with a contender while being driven by the prospect of a title. But those aren't the only considerations. The Cavaliers' payroll is over the luxury tax line, and, as it stands with today's roster, they will pay almost $27 million in taxes, in addition to $127 million in payroll. The cost of a championship is a consideration, and that might not sit well with the win-at-any-price crowd. Anthony's salary would add another $24 million in payroll and luxury taxes. Keep in mind that Forbes reported last week that Cleveland lost $40 million last season, in a year it won the championship for the first time in history. It's not just this season, either, that Cleveland must consider tax implications with Anthony's contract, which is worth $26.2 million next season and $27.9 million in 2018-19. At the start of the 2015-16 season, Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert said the organization was all in when it came to spending. But he also said, "We look at this year by year. There's so many factors. So many things can change." What will change for the Cavaliers by the trade deadline? A likely scenario: Cleveland's roster additions don't include Anthony.